And hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. Guys, of course there was a big debate that happened yesterday in Parliament, and there was a lot of powerful speeches said. We've of course covered already the Ayub Khan disgrace that he did as he stood up in the Parliament and tried to defend the indefensible. We've also seen Rupert Lowe's powerful speech. Now it's time to hear Nigel Farage's. So yeah, guys, let's have a watch of this. But as always, please do hit the like button and hit the subscribe button for more.
Nigel Farage.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Whilst today's debate is very welcome, it's on the broad range of sexual offences against children and the gathering of data of the perpetrators. I would suggest, and certainly my constituents in Clacton would suggest, that there is something uniquely evil and awful about mass rape gangs. That's not to diminish in any way sexual abuse that may happen in the home by trusted people or elsewhere, but something uniquely evil about what is going on. And I can certainly talk for many of my constituents in saying that there is a feeling that because of racial sensitivities, the authorities at all levels for a couple of decades now have not done the job of genuinely pursuing justice. I was unaware of this problem, the scale of this problem and the cover-up until the Rotherham by-election in 2012, where the current member was elected. And may I say, she has spoken out more bravely on this issue than most members of this House in the intervening years. I was genuinely shocked by the stories that I was being told by families that came forward, stunned that the police, social workers, local councillors had received multiple reports of what had happened. And when I say mass, we're talking in some cases about individual girls being raped by hundreds of men over a period of time. Something genuinely shocking had happened. Now, in the intervening years, we've had the Jay report, the Casey report, attempts by Home Secretaries, current attempts to find out the truth about what has gone on. And whilst a handful of people have been held to account, the truth is that the vast majority haven't. I was surprised that during 14 years of Conservative government, we did not have a proper judicial inquiry with the necessary powers. I've done my best to encourage the current Prime Minister to do the same, but sadly to no avail. There are two things that strike me that would be helpful. One is we ought to get published with redacted names all of the reports from police and social services over the last 40 years across the whole of the country, published as a public record that everybody can read. But the thing, Madam Chair, that really surprises me is the reluctance of members of Parliament to realise their own powers. We're in the Palace of Westminster. We're in this remarkable historic building. We're all privileged to be here. We have enormous powers. They were last effectively used back in 2011 by the Public Accounts Committee, who in the wake of the global financial collapse of 2008 used the powers within this palace to turn committees into courts. And that means they have the powers of subpoena. It means that people could be brought into committee rooms like this under the oath and could face perjury if they don't tell the truth. So my suggestion, Madam Chair, is rather than waiting for this Home Secretary or the next one that may come soon, who knows, to act in a way that would be with full judicial power and the ability to subpoena, why don't we as members of Parliament forget party affiliation, recognise the upset and concern and fear of our constituents that we're increasingly living in a two-tier justice system in this country, and come together and force the government to have a powerful committee in this place, and let's call the heads of social services, let's call senior police officers, let's call councillors, former or serving, or even former or serving MPs, and get to the truth. Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, I completely agree with Nigel Farage there and what he's saying with regard to that. And again, we know for a very long time that there's a two-tier system. I mean, just look at the killing and the murdering of Henry Novak recently, right? I think a lot of us have seen that video footage emerge, and it's absolutely shocking and disgusting. But look, this is what needs to happen with regard to this whole thing. We clearly can see that based on your race and based on your background, you're treated differently than the police, and that is shocking to see. It truly is, and it's what's fueled and allowed these things to happen and go unpunished. Which again, this needs to stop in our country, guys. Let me know your thoughts on this down there in the comment section below.